far? How was your travel? How are you?
Hi there guys, welcome back into another session. Bitcoin moving up over the last 24-48 hours from slight spot bid. Do we now have the liquidity and the bid momentum needed to push further? Or are we hitting our next inflection point where we can consider fresh shorts? So let's have a look today with you. So a little look back at where we've come from, where we are going. Beginning of the week, we had absolutely lack of bid and finally got a rotation down, didn't we, towards 80k. Have to confess, would have liked to get a little bit lower to 80k, even cut under 80k if you watched the last live session with us. But the slight spot bid that we got down there was enough to push price back up. Why was that? Very low open interest, very low funding environment, very easy to push price back up on very slight bid. Okay, so that's where we've come from. And then in the last 24 hours, obviously we had FOMC yesterday with J Powell taking the stage. Mentioned first thing yesterday, Bitcoin holding with slight spot bid and pushing back to range. Now finding offers at the monthly open. For me, personally, no short until at least the CME gap or higher, okay? And then we eventually push up and we just fill the CME gap and we pushed up a little bit higher. But yeah, join us on Twitter if you're not following already, and actually join us in the TRDR link below, TRDR socials as well. Trying to post as much as we can in the Discord and the Telegram. Same thing, not looking for shorts. In my opinion, OIM funding is very calm. 560 million book depth, retail getting chopped at lows and highs, chasing momentum of price. Okay, don't be a momentum chaser. And then again there, anyone was trying to put shorts on. Price simply walking down to find bid. Dump/nukes come with high open interest in supply zones. Okay, so whenever you see price just kind of like falling into these slight demand zones, really you're not going to get giga nukes from low open interest environments like that. Okay, so that was the play. And then obviously last night we were just looking for a little bit higher. Posted that out to the private group as well in the Alpha Traders, part of the Art of Data Driven Market Analysis course. What are you looking for, Nick? I just want it a little bit higher. So this was before we even hit the CME gap, which we eventually hit. Okay, it doesn't matter what you want really in the order flow. You sometimes get what the market gives you. Okay, but for me personally, I can see these higher walls, one at 87.5 there, and then one at 89 there as well. That's where I want to do some business. And then, you know, there we go. There's your classic TA chart as well. And then overnight, obviously, we have risen up and we're into that zone. So now we're cooking. High open interest rise that we got last night. I can show you that in a second in the TRDR console, into this supply zone. So we're now hitting this supply zone. Okay, so we need to see if bid is going to sit under price and push us up higher. Okay, or do we need to consider shorts now that we are rising up into this zone? CME gap is actually filled now we're rising up into this zone. Can we foresee some bearish divergences on high open interest into this supply zone? Now this is the area to do a little bit of bear side short chasing. All right, guys. So look, from there, what I need to do again is, because we're now pushing up, is we'll go to TradingView and have a look at some levels to play. Right then, so stock market pretty steady. I think we're having a bit of a mean reversion bounce on most assets from the breakdown last week. US market not quite open yet. We are just in the European session here, but a little bit of green on the board pre-US market, and you can see here what assets are trying to do. Dixie is obviously just starting to fall back to this higher time frame range and downtrend. E-mini futures, S&P, are we going to backtest this trend and roll over, or is this one big fake out and a reclaim? Okay, that's what we need to look out for. Nvidia having a bit of a range. So I do just want to do a top down on Bitcoin again today. Okay, so we will look at altcoins a little bit later in the US live session. Join us there, link to follow. Okay guys, so yeah, I do need to have a look with you at higher time frame levels once again. We did this at the beginning of the week, we're going to do it now. Okay, so there we go. So we've now got obviously our weekly open there at 82467. Now the thing to say here is we need to, now that price is actually moving up, we need to consider those levels a little bit higher. Straight off, what we've got here is the old school OG indicator, the weekly 21, 88,428 or 88,500. Now, I'm not sure how relevant this indicator is actually now. You can see how much it got chopped up in that zone back there. So I might be taking that off. Okay, but one thing to consider, just pull a horizontal line. Let's try and draw ourselves a picture, and then we can jump into the order flow and see if that picture of the classic TA lines up with confluence of the order flow. Okay, so I just want to have a look at this weekly level here, which is 89,790. Okay, so, or just around there. What actually is it? There we go, 89,855. Okay, 89,855 of the open and close of these two there. Okay, so that is a nice level, because other than that, you've just got a load of wicks here until you get right back up to that bearish candle at 94. Okay, so I just want to consider this level going back a good few weeks there, or actually a few months, which was 18th of November. Okay, so not much interaction with this level, but I just want to draw a bit of confluence there from the weekly chart. So 89,875 or 89,980 or whatever we'll call it. Okay, so just a tickle under 90k. Yeah, daily chart. So daily chart, here's our previous range. We've broken down, back tested. We're now just trying to push up a little bit. Okay, so weekly open there at 82,574. That's held for a few days. Okay, and we've now pushed up. We're just on what I've got here, a 200 EMA. Okay, and we're holding the monthly VWAP at 85,560. Okay, I'm not going to consider shorts yet until we move a little bit higher. We know the level on the weekly level, and if you just pump up here on the old fibs, you've got some levels there at 90k as well. And then let's just draw a bit of confluence. Have we got anything a little bit lower? Yeah, so you've actually got some daily levels here as well, couple of touches there. And then if you go back here as well, couple of touches. Let's try and build a recipe for this one. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna say around there. Actually, I'm gonna say around there, 89. Yeah, so just a tickle under 90k as well. Okay, so everyone might have their eye on 90k. I'd be more up for considering a front run of that area, just shy of it. Okay, so that is going to be our next big resistance zone if the sellers don't get aggressive and start to attack us right here, right now. Obviously got a fib there at 87.7 as well. 4 hour time frame, nice chart this one. Okay, yes, we've been downtrending, but I'm going to start calling this a range now. Okay, as we have been finding bid at the lows and offers at the top. Okay, so last time we spoke and on the live session, we came down. It would have been nice to deviate a little bit lower, just towards that 80k, which would have got us really into this value area low of this 4 hour range. Okay, but it wasn't to be. The spot bid was enough in a low funding, low open interest environment, and we rise up from here. FOMC, we just tickle around the point of control there, which is the monthly open, weekly VWAP, and we push on. And then as you can see here, just look left, does this become support for the next 24 hours? Monthly VWAP, okay, just there at 85.5. And then what have we got above? Okay, I've just got a 4 hour EMA here as well. What have we got above, and where is the value in any selling going to come in? Just over 8 to 9k there as well. So we're building a picture with the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour time frame, value area high of this 4 hour range, just coming in a tickle under 90k again. Okay, so we'll just go to the 1 hour chart quickly as well, but I don't really want, once price is moving up, I don't really want to concentrate too much on lower time frame charts. I'm more looking at the bigger time frame levels and the order flow. Okay, so daily open right up here, the Asian session, guys, if they were hedging short positions, really we're absolutely on the money there. Asian session, US session, best sessions to trade. Try and avoid this European session chop if you can. CME gap is now filled. Okay, so that's from last week. We'll get rid of that. Okay, now we do have some levels a little bit higher as well that I've just marked on here. So whether you're looking at Bybit data or Binance data, these might differentiate a little bit, but daily NPOC, if you're a little bit of a levels nerd like myself, 88.495. And we've actually got a weekly MPOC at 89,980. Now, I do think if you compare Bybit to Binance, I think this weekly MPOC is actually a bit higher. It might even be up at 92, to be honest. So not too sure about the data on that one. But here we are, yeah. So we've broken the back of what is the 1 hour trend down. Okay, you start to form this range, you've come to the range lows, you've formed a 1 hour order block at the range lows, and you've pushed up. Point of the control there, very, very good. You even back test that 1 hour EMA there and bounce. Okay, so look, I don't think there's much edge in shorting this right here, right now. At the very least, you want to rise up and see if you can give these Asian session bears a little bit of a run for the money. But I think the real value is going to come in a little bit higher still. And for confluence of that, we need to look at the All-Seeing-Eye, the data in the TRDR console. Let's jump in.
Well, in my book, you either do it right or you get eliminated.
Right, here we go then, guys. TRDR console. If you're unfamiliar with this platform, go grab a link from below for a free trial. Okay, if you need some more in-depth education, 20% off the Art of Data-Driven Market Analysis course. I think that offer, 20% off, is possibly finishing at the end of the month. I will post on socials if it is. But I just want to present you with a very, very, very clean chart using the top levels, okay, the biggest order blocks in the books, okay. So yesterday we get the rise up from that very light bid. It was a shame that we didn't get a little bit lower to this order block here, but as I've mentioned a couple of times, low open interest, low funding environment, it's not taking much to then push price up. Okay, you move back to this monthly open here. We did get some selling at the monthly open, as you can see there. BTC Diamond, BTC Group Spot. Said to the guys yesterday in the Discord, I don't want to short this area. Why don't I want to short this area? It's the third or fourth time we've hit this zone, okay? When you're in this kind of lower time frame range and environment, the risk reward diminishes the more times you hit these areas. As simple as that, especially when the open interest is low. Funding's not in confluence. You're not getting any high frothy market conditions, and the volume's not in confluence as well, okay. So it's always looking for a little bit higher near the CME gap that we've built now and up into this zone. Start of the Asian session last night, that was probably the best risk reward short so far, as you've got this top level here at 87.5. Okay, so very, very clean chart. I think for any really, really good invalidation, you have to say 89k. Okay, and where does that come in confluence? Just with those TA levels that we've looked at top down from the weekly, daily, and 4 hour in trading view. All right, guys, so let's have a look at the bid ask then and see what's going on. I'm just going to stick to a 15-minute basis at the minute. So yeah, no real spot bid at the minute. What you need to see is, if you want a continuation, is a little bit of spot bid to come in, sit under price, okay. Something else that was of note as well is yesterday, as we were rising up, you still had quite a bit of aggregated bid, which was coming from perps as well. So yes, you can argue all day long about whether this is perps driven or spot driven. Don't really give a shit, to be honest. Just trade what you see, okay. But it wasn't as if you're in a big supply zone right here as you're on your like third hit from that area. The real good shorts come in obviously when you're in these supply zones, okay. So always try and check for this aggregated supply at the bottom as well of this template, okay. All these templates are free. Go and search in the socials for Nick Aggregated OBD. So here we go. Yes, not much spot bid right here, right now. That's absolutely fine. If you have been longing from the beginning of the week, certainly some of the alts have been doing very well as well, but I don't expect spot bid to chase this up. So let's have a look at what the other markets are doing. Quick look at Coinbase then. So Coinbase have actually pulled their offer there, and then they've got one slightly higher at 95. So that'd be interesting to see if we do get any continuation, because it has to be said, the case is always that, yes, I'm looking to short this zone up here, okay, at 89k. We've got plenty of confluence to say that we could top out locally in this area, but I'm not just gonna start hitting red buttons. I'm not gonna drop limit orders in here. I need to see the order flow if we can still tick up there and get there, okay. So yep, Coinbase have just dropped a little bit of offer. Kraken and Qcoin, little bit of bid, but nothing really to scream about. CoinM have had some serious offers up here, okay. So Binance, CoinM have had some serious offers, and they are still attacking price, but the main confluence for me is going to come from the perps market, okay, derivatives perps. So you've got some bids sat under price here at 85.5. That's nice to see. And then offers higher. Where are those offers higher coming in? 88.9, 89k. So another tick up would be really, really good. Can we build even more confluence on that with our volume and open interest? Okay, so here we go. So yesterday posted obviously the chart out to everyone saying, look, volume, don't like to use the term, do we, but it's an industry term. Retail traders getting short at the lows once again as we rally up, okay. Now what's happening, we've got that high rise in open interest, which is very nice. So we've come from low open interest, low funded environment, LS ratio down there as well. So it's a real nice cluster of information you've got there, as well as the bid ask, okay. Now we're coming up to a high open interest, high LS ratio, and funding potentially rising as well. What's the cherry on the cake? Retail traders about to start long this session, okay. So the best thing for me would be if we can put in another high up here, as we've looked at, and then again, to be honest, it becomes very boring when you're used to trading these kind of templates. Just wait for these things to play out, and then you get the reward. Do we get some bearish divergences on the volume? So do the whale volumes start to come off again? You can just see spot here as retail traders start to long the highs. That'd be very, very good, wouldn't it? But yeah, quick look at that open interest then on a 1 hour basis. There you go. So high open interest, funding coming up a little bit, but you can see where you came from, that low funding environment. You know, it really, really was just very chill, low open interest, low funding environment. Funding now coming up to that upper parameter. So that is why, again, you know, if we're going to look to hedge some more short positions, this is where I would be looking at. Okay. Just quick look at the liquidity then as well, because this is an interesting one. Got my first hammer that I've had in a while. Okay, what's that coming from? It's an RSI metric. Okay, call this the liquidity and RSI metric. It's when we get a rise in certain liquidity. Okay, so perps may be chasing up, or a certain drop in liquidity from the perps and the spot order books, and I get the rise. Yes, we've got an RSI metric on an open interest indicator. It works very, very well. Okay, so first hammer. You can see you got one back here, had a slight drop, put in another top, and then rolled. And the rockets for the bull side have been very, very good as well. I do treat those as squeeze metrics. Okay, so not anything that you would, you know, just jump in and say, yes, I'm going to short this. Okay, use the order flow as confluence, but just wanted to point that out to you guys that we've come from a low funding, low open interest, saying it again, how many times have I said that today, environment. We're now potentially bringing a little bit of heat back into the market, okay, as you come up to these supply zones. So keep an eye on that. I think that's the one to play. I think if we can get another rise up, that's going to be absolutely great. If we get a tiny drop here, okay, just watch now for the monthly open to hold. Yeah, so the weekly open, we, you know, auction price below, you get that little bit of bid, you rise up, you then hold the weekly open and you push up. Monthly open, battle around the monthly open at FOMC, JPOW takes the stage, rise up. Okay, so if we come down again, don't be a price chaser, just see if the monthly open holds here, and then do we get another rise into the supply zone. I think that's the one to play. All right, guys, so look, let's go live in the US session a little bit later on. I will drop links for that soon, and we can dive into a few more altcoins and see what is going on. If the market's going to rise again, you know, for the next 24 48 hours, are there any altcoin players out there? I think there could be a few. Keep an eye on Trump. Fartcoin's obviously been doing very well, which I do think is hilarious. But yeah, there's a few other coins been getting some action out there. I think Trump is possibly speaking as well at some crypto conference. Normally that would be the top of a market, but you might get a few spikes in the altcoins. There might be a few players out there. Join us in the live session a little bit later. Cheers, guys.
I bet your margins are pretty nice and fat.
Let's not talk about my margins, by the way. Being nice and fat. That's a nice shirt. Do they make it for men?